Hey guys, welcome back to the Civilmation Podcast. I am your host, Civil Spider. So for those of you that are new tuning in, the Civilmation Podcast is me talking to whether it be an artist, a video editor, a voice actor, anyone that's in the animation business doing animation, and we get to hear their story as to how they started, why they do it, their favorite moments, stuff they don't like, etc. And we're keeping up the whole flow here of having Planet Dolan members, and today we have one of the animators for Planet Dolan and also for Super Planet Dolan. His name is SpinalPalm. I'm sure if you guys seen his artwork. If not, it's really good. So SpinalPalm, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How's it going?
Good. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I just got back from the gym.
Ooh, how'd that go?
Good. I love working out. I've been doing it since high school. It's just a very nice way to relieve stress and everything.
Oh, that's awesome. So far, I know it's you, Tyler, and me that like to go to the gym religiously, which is good to hear. And what made you start doing that? Like, why are you training?
I was too fat.
Okay, that's a good reason.
I wanted to lose the weight, but also it's nice to work out. It makes you feel better, just overall.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. But okay, well, I'm actually gonna ask you a little bit more on that. But let's go on with usually the way I start these podcasts. Which, first of all, I'm sure it's not. But is SpinalPalm your actual name?
No, my name is Chris Gassler.
Oh, okay. Oh, you even gave us a last name. Okay.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
cool.
I didn't know.
No, but that's cool. Okay, so Chris. Now, if your name is Chris, though, how did you become SpinalPalm? As in, why SpinalPalm? How did you get that name?
So the origin behind my username was I made it in high school is when I made my YouTube, and I basically was in a bad car accident that year. I was going to McDonald's with my friend. They let the seniors go out for they let them take their cars in senior year and actually go out and drive somewhere and get like lunch. And on the first day of like the senior, I think they call it senior recess. Me and my friend basically went to McDonald's, and we went to this, coming back, we got T-boned on the side of the car, and we got pushed from like one end of a street, like all the way into a telephone pole on my end. Like the driver got hit
on
his side, and then we got like plowed into a telephone pole, and we got like trapped in the car, and like there was all like stuff like oozing and like pouring out from like the engine and stuff. Like the car was like totaled. And we basically the only reason we lived, because we went to the hospital after that, we were rushed over. And the only reason that either of us lived were because we were in a gigantic Ford, like an older Ford truck. So it's like really well made, like a huge, like hulking, like metal machine that was like really solid. So that's the only reason why, because we got hit at like 70 miles an hour.
Dang, holy cow.
Yeah. But, so the reason is, that's the setup, but the reason was I had basically gotten my x-rays back because I thought they were cool looking, and I got like duplicates, and I had a bad spine injury and hand injury, and I just liked drawing my x-rays a lot at the time, so I was just drawing spines and hand like pictures. So then I just did SpinalPalm because it was like the same. Wow. It was all within the same week that I started my YouTube.
Wow. So, oh man. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear all that happened, but like sincerely, I really am glad you're okay.
Yeah.
But wow, it's amazing how you took such a, I don't know if horrific is the word, but just that kind of a moment in your life, and you changed it into something that's pretty, I would say, positive in terms of now this is like your identity. Actually, after having that injury, is there anything like serious that you still struggle with because of that?
No, I had a full recovery. So did my friend. He actually, despite being hit like harder, I was only hit into the telephone pole. He was like directly hit on. But he had a concussion, and they had to stitch his arm up a little bit because it was like glass and like stuff that got like ripped up on his one arm. But both of us had like a full recovery, like, and both are fine.
Oh, that's
He's
good.
also named Chris.
Two Chris's.
Yeah.
Okay. But, okay, so that is the story behind SpinalPalm. Jeez, that's a lot better than a couple others a couple other way people come up with their names, either be with like random name generators and stuff. But okay, so you say that happened in high school. Now, let's kind of go a little more back to that. So you have a name SpinalPalm. You were starting a YouTube channel. So were you already drawing and animating at that time, or how did you start doing that?
Well, I started drawing as soon as I could hold a pencil. I was like 2 or 3, and I still have like my oldest drawings ever, just like scribbles that my parents saved. But like I always loved drawing. Was like always like my thing I'd like to do. Like I would come home from kindergarten or whatever, and I'm just like, I just want to draw, and they would just give me like a pen and paper.
So
but I taught myself how to animate in high school though, so I guess it's been about six years.
How so though? So like you've been drawing since you were 2. You learned to animate then in high school. So in between the time then, is it just more like you've just kind of doodled and stuff like that until you started animating?
Yeah, pretty much just doodling and also just writing comics. That's what I used to do, is do a lot of like comic stuff. Like I have notebooks and notebooks full of comics and a lot of scripts that I wrote like in middle school and like high school, because I want to be like a writer too.
Oh, no kidding. Wait, do you also write then for Planet Dolan?
I did write a few episodes for Super Planet Dolan for a little bit, and I had helped out writing like not like main like scripts, but I did like some like side writing where it was just me and Dolan writing a few episodes. And yeah, I also, because I do like comedy, like I like also stand up, so I do like comedy writing.
Whoa, you're like a triple threat. I like that. Okay, so do you say you do it now still?
The writing?
No, the comedy.
Yeah. Last night I was just at a new comedy place that just opened up called Sticks and Stones in town.
Oh, what in the... Wait, do you record any of this? Do you post this? Or is it just more your thing?
Well, right now it's really just open mics. That's what I've been doing the past like year and a half. But I actually only yesterday confirmed, because I've been talking to a producer, and I guess it's official now, that I booked my first gig as a professional comedian, like a paid professional comedian. I can call myself professional now.
Hey, congrats. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be in the Broadway club in New York City, July 28th. I'm going to be there. So that's going to be like my debut as like a professional, quote unquote, comedian.
Well, dude, okay, first of all, congrats. Like, sincerely, that's great. Are you planning to record any of this for your channel?
They said that they would, like, for an extra like fee or whatever, because I am getting paid, but they said like for a fee I can like record it, like they'll record it for me, so I might do that just to have it, since people do. Like I was on Derek's talking to like Hellbent and him, and they were saying that if I ever recorded it, that I need to put it up for them. So
yeah, that'd be awesome to see.
I would probably, I might, if I'm gonna keep practicing the material that I'm gonna use, because they offered me a 7-minute set, so I'm gonna like really refine the stuff I have, and if I feel confident, then I'll definitely probably like ask to be recorded.
Yeah, and not even that though, like let's say you can't or whatever, even like vlogging before and afterwards would be cool to see too. Kind of see how on your way there, how you feel after, like, I don't know, that's such a big moment. That's awesome though. Congrats.
Yeah, that just happened. That just happened yesterday. Like, so I was really like just a lot of a mixture of anxiety and excitement, because I don't want to mess up, but I really like it's something awesome. I've always wanted, so it's just really cool. Thank you.
Okay, so wait, okay, hold on, because you're having now a lot more talent than I thought. So, not only do you draw, you also animate, and not only do you animate, you're a comedian. Okay, hold up. So, okay, let's kind of put this in a time frame. You were 2 years old, picked up a pencil, you doodled the heck out of your day, then came high school. How did the animation part come into play? How did you start learning?
Well, there's a certain web series that like my friend made, and he doesn't like to ever bring it up now, so I won't mention it.
Okay,
but
that's fine.
There was a certain web series that at the time, like, I didn't know who he was. I just kind of like looked up to him, and he made a web series all by himself, and I just couldn't. It was my realization that like one person can make an animation, and then after that point, I kept asking for a laptop for like Christmas and stuff, and I finally got one. And then I just taught myself how to animate on like a trackpad in Flash, and then like from there I eventually worked up to like a drawing tablet, and I just started learning more and more.
Dang. Wait, so how did you like, what was the program that you used when you started? Was it Flash?
I've always used Flash CS 5.5 ever since the beginning, but my method of teaching myself was I I was really dumb. I didn't think to look up tutorials. I basically just I watched videos of people like or like of I don't know like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or something, and I would pick out like a motion or I would isolate like an arm movement or something. I'm like, I like the way that looks, and then I would think about it, and then later on that day I would try to replicate that in the program, and eventually I started to like see how movement worked and kind of like break it down through that way.
Yeah.
It probably would have gone a lot smoother if I had looked up tutorials, which it would probably would have saved me a few months of learning, because I probably took probably like 6-8 months learning it, like how to animate on my own. But it probably would have been a lot faster if I did it that way. But
No, but regardless, like for those that are listening, really take into consideration what he said. Like, he did it on his own. Yeah, it probably would have been better if he looked up tutorials, but I think what we should take out of what he said is the fact that regardless, he still found a way to do it at his own pace, his own time, whatever. And even though it took him a little longer, he got it done. And I think that's really important to know with like anything you guys are trying to do, especially in animation. Yeah, maybe you don't know how to do a certain way, but just examine the way someone does it, see what they do, and try to replicate it. That's usually the best way to do it. But that's awesome. Okay, so after 6 to 8 months, you got in, like, you learned how to do it. So whatever happened there, like, what'd you do with it after?
Well, at that point I started like actually, because I had 2 or 3 like what would you call it, like test channels. Like I was kind of just like like learning how to like even upload on like Newgrounds on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And then like also just like testing out like the settings and like how to edit the videos properly. But then I started putting up my first video I put up on YouTube for the SpinalPalm one, when that, because like I learned how to animate and I did like all my tests and everything, and I kind of like knew I wanted to make like an official channel.
Okay.
And that's when it was the same week that I got into the car accident and like went through all that, started drawing my hand and spine X-rays, and then I made the channel because I was like, oh, that's a good name.
So then you uploaded your first one. Wait, I'll admit I haven't really looked at your channel. Are you still uploading as of now?
Yeah, I just had my most recent video was animal reviews, and it's me basically going and reviewing the animal tiger, it's weird to say, the tiger animal.
Right. What?
The animal of the breed,
The tiger, just
the type of animal that is a tiger. That's weird.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, how do you say that? So I reviewed animal.
I reviewed the animal that is a tiger, I guess.
Yeah.
It just sounds weird.
Or we just have to put a comma. So I reviewed the animal, comma, the tiger.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. So what even you reviewed it though? Like, what'd you do?
It's a bit of a different video. It's kind of if you ever saw like those video storytelling sort of videos, it's like when you have like that one drawing of a character and it's like back and forth, and then I have like some visuals like to just like flash on screen to keep everything moving.
Oh, so you animate these too then?
It's more like drawings. There's a little bit of animated like text and like just the character like popping in from like pose to pose, but it's not exactly animation.
Oh, okay. Kind of like still frame, like.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's so cool though. Okay, so you recently uploaded that reviewing the animal. So what is it that you do then? What do you typically would post on your channel?
What I typically would post is just like plain animations. I would like to do. I have like some ideas for like some original series, but that's gonna take a lot of time. Recently, I made this one about like a kid and like a burglar breaking in, and that was based off a true story between one of my friends. I thought that was pretty good. I'm pretty proud of that one. And also for Newgrounds, I did the Dragon Ball Z collab, so I have that one uploaded on both my YouTube and the full collabs on Newgrounds, it's an amazing collab. Like everybody in that one was terrific.
Yeah, I'll probably look into that afterwards then. That sounds pretty cool. I usually like those. Do you watch then like Dojo?
Dojo.
Yeah. I don't know if that's actually the full name. It's like well, if you go to YouTube and type in Dojo or like Animation Dojo, and you'll see who I'm talking about. But it's like a channel where they'll like collab with like a lot of other animators. Like there was one video I loved so much. It had like Domix in it, and like 10 other people all made one video. It was sick. Yeah, that's who I'm referring to. So that's why I'm curious, like if it's something like Dojo where you all made one animation. Yeah,
well, it's not. It's all one animation that it doesn't flow together as like a singular episode. It's a bunch of shorts that come together as like a collab like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the full collab itself is like almost 20 minutes. It's about like an actual like episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, if you can, afterwards shoot me a link. Heck,
Oh
I
yeah,
can.
definitely.
I'll even put it down in the description for this so people can see it too. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a great one. I think my part in it, if you're interested, is it's the second one in, so
Okay.
you'll see it right away.
So everyone, if you're interested, link will be in the description. Second part in is SpinalPalms.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Because we're on the topic of this. So here's the thing with you that I like is I sincerely like your art style. How did you find that art style?
If I'm gonna be honest, it's it's almost 100% inspired from what was that company called? Huge Entertainment. They did Pajama Sam. They did Freddy Fish. They did Spy Fox.
I'm trying
They,
to.
they were like point and click games, but like that's where like almost 100% of my style comes from.
Okay.
People have actually like I've only ever been like told that my style looks like Oni and G, Chris O'Neill, but it's like actually like if you look at my stuff compared to Pajama Sam or Freddy Fish or Putt Putt and stuff like that, it's way more in line with that if you really look at it.
Okay.
But I guess I can kind of see where people might think with the Oni, but it's not really. There's not too many similarities, I think.
Well, no. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know. I'll admit like what any of those shows are. I'll look into them after to compare. But
yeah, I think they're like 1990s like type of like point and click games that you play on like the computer.
okay, so you played these games, got inspired by them, got your art style.
Yeah.
Okay, how long ago was this though? Like, when did you kind of decide like, okay, this is how my art's probably gonna look? If that makes sense. I don't know if that sounds right.
I don't think it was ever a decision. It's just that I played those games as a kid, like probably like 3 to like 6 or 7, because there was a lot of them. So I played them growing up a lot, and that was like I would always replay those games over and over. And I guess those kind of just like inspired me, and it wasn't a conscious thing. I don't think many people's style at all is a conscious thing. I think
That's true. I agree.
it's just sort of something that you like a certain thing, and it kind of just formulates that way, and then eventually, even if you're looking at someone's like direct style, it kind of becomes your own eventually, or you'll have your own like little things that you'll add to it and like change it up, and like it can become something else.
That's very true. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so we're at the point then where I learned that you animated on your own after high school. You got into the accident that led to figuring out your name for your channel. You made your channel. You started uploading. Now here's a big question I know a lot of people want to know is you are one of the, like, in my opinion, like one of the bigger animators at Planet Dolan. How did you even start with Planet Dolan and working there?
I only got a job there because of Vim Homeless was my friend that I've known. I had known for like 3-4 years at that point.
Okay.
And I was like talking to Vim. At the time I had just gotten out of high school, and or maybe it was my first year of college, and I was working a horrible retail job at like a supermarket for like 2 years at that point. And I was just like depressed and like a big art slump, and I was just like, I think I actually quit when I was talking to him about it, because I was running really low on like money, and I was like in a bad spot financially where it was just like I gotta get another like garbage retail job. I can't like not, because I was just doing animations for myself at the time. I wasn't like working for anybody. I had done like a few commission stuff, and I met a few people that way, like business contacts, but it wasn't like anything regular work. So I was just like, oh man, I'm really like in a bad position.
Yeah.
And he had just gotten the job, and like I think he did like 1 or 2 episodes, and he was like, maybe I can bring you on, and that was basically how like I got introduced and everything.
Oh, that's awesome. So then did you start then doing like I guess the animations that you do for Super Planet Dolan, or how did you start to get there, if that makes sense?
Dolan gave me a test for the CFT one. It's like a music video, and that was the first one I did. And for a while, I was only just doing the music videos, and that was kind of my part of the channel, was I would do the music videos. Vim and Sweet Commando would do the questions and answers, and then I kind of like I went in between like doing music videos and like some of the Q&As, and then like now I've been doing mostly the the true stories.
So you got a test to do these, you got accepted, you went in. So then, how about this then? Because you do the full animations again for Super Planet Dolan. I've seen a couple of them. How long does it take you to make something like that?
Well, the deadline is typically 2 to 3 weeks, so it's kind of a lot to balance because I'll try and do my own stuff, like my own animation, plus my own writing, plus like planning for like these other projects I want to do in the future, not just like the comedy animation and other stuff. Like I have other like projects that I'm also like writing and working towards, but so it's a lot to like handle with the work, but I like to keep busy, and it's just like that's how I kind of like I like to have all the work so then I could just keep myself busy and just not do anything else really except for work, and just like keep switching up different things that I'll do.
So is that basically how you keep yourself on track then? It's just like keep piling on the work so you know like you have things to do?
Yeah, I especially like deadlines because deadlines just help me focus and really like hone in and work on something a lot harder. Like I'm really gonna be hitting the clubs hard because of this. I was telling like the June, I keep saying June, July 28th. I'm having the like the spot in New York City, so I'm really gonna be focusing hard on the material.
Yeah.
Now that I have that deadline, you know.
So, okay, so then like how? Okay, because something I feel like I like to stress with those listening and those who like are trying to either create something for themselves or trying to get up in this field, it's more like I stress like sometimes you have to make sacrifices to achieve what you're trying to make, or for anything you have to make sacrifices on things. So what is something you feel personally you sacrifice for what you're trying to do, whether that be maybe at like a day, like you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna go to the gym, I really gotta finish this, or you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna buy this because I need to save up for that. Like, what sacrifices do you feel you make?
It depends. I need to sacrifice my own time. I need to sacrifice maybe like maybe like once like a week I'll sacrifice like going to the gym if I'm like already just like sore kind of, and just like I need to really like hunker down and like focus on something. A lot of the time, unfortunately, I took the advice of these comedians that I mentioned at the very, very beginning was Joe Rogan and Tom Segura. I listen to a lot on their podcasts, and they say write an hour a day, or at least try to write like 1 hour a day. So that's something I'll usually put off as like my own time that I give to myself for writing. Sometimes I'll have to just dedicate to straight up working on something.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like, because there's a lot of things that I want to do, and like especially like the future, like moving on, like just things I want to work towards, like all these different things that I want to have like my hand in all these different things. So it's kind of like you got to sacrifice your time in certain spots and like balance it out and like see where everything like fits into your schedule and try and make it all work. Well, and also try and keep a social life so you're not like going crazy in your house.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's honestly what I use the gym for, whether it be like if I go by myself or with my girlfriend, or actually just or my girlfriend too in general. Like she likes to go out, she likes to do things, so I'll go with her, and that kind of gives me like that fresh air I need, because then when I come back it's right back to it.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
yeah, I get what you mean too. Yeah, that's good. So how about this then? What has been one of the hardest animations you've had to make, and like you were really pressed for time?
That would probably be the Dragon Ball Z one that I did. It took me 4 months to do that one, and it's like a 2.5 minute cartoon. I think it's 2.5 minutes, but it was like a solid like animation, like where I really put like a lot of time into the animation while also working on like 6 other projects. And it just like, when I finished that one, I was like, wow, that was just like, it really took a lot out of me, that one. That was a huge commitment, that cartoon. And it was also in a huge deadline.
No, yeah, then I'm definitely watching it. If you put that much time into it, that's awesome. So, you have mentioned too, though, like you look up to those two guys. Those are comedians, right?
Yeah.
You said? Okay. So, I guess then, okay, because I know what I want to know, though, is in the aspect of animation again. Is there someone that you look up to that is in the animation business that you not even look up to, but maybe you see them as something about them inspires you?
It's kind of hard to say, because like I don't have, for animation, I would maybe have to think about it. Okay. I think someone that's inspired me the most as far as like animation or just art style in general, just like my friends in general. Like I try to surround myself. Since I started coming online, I at first like went online when it was 6 years ago when I started animating, and that's when I got my first computer, my laptop, and that's when I got to know all these people in the art community. And I just constantly surrounded myself with people that are very productive and like to work, and they're always like, I am mostly inspired, and most of my drive comes off of having all these friends that propel me to like, I want to work harder. And like it's just like an environment where if you're talking to all these people that are being very productive and working on stuff all the time, and they're creating great stuff, it's going to make you want to be great and create stuff and work just as hard. So that's like something that I always recommend to people that want to like get into like the art or like animation. Like you want to find people that will really propel you and like make you want to work harder.
Yes, I'm so happy you said that. Everyone, again, what he just said is find those that either inspire you to work harder or you want to strive to be, I'm not going to say like them because everyone's different, but maybe have the same work work commitment that they have. But the point is, it's so much better to surround yourselves around those that are trying to do what you do. Not exactly specifically that, but it's just because either you're gonna strive to want to be just as good as them, or if not better. So I like that you said that. That's really good. That's a really good point to hit.
Yeah, it's really positive, and it just helps a lot with everything. Basically, it'll really build you up.
Has there been a time where in everything that you've done so far in terms of, drawing, animating, stand-up, has there ever been a time you kind of hit rock bottom where you started questioning everything?
The only time I ever questioned anything was when I was working at the supermarket that I was talking about.
Okay.
Because at that point, I wasn't. It was after I quit the supermarket, because when I worked at the retail job, it was super draining. It took up so much of my time. They give you like just enough hours where it's not full time. It's like 1 hour underneath like full time. So they keep you in quote unquote part time, even though you're working essentially full time and getting paid the same as part time. And it was just, I had no time to work on anything, and it was just, I felt horrible because I wasn't creating anything. And I think that's, I feel like whatever I do, because I have a few different goals, like if I do anything like beyond like the comedy stuff, like I always want to be in the creative field. Like I've always known from a young age that that's all I ever wanted to do, was just keep constantly creating and putting things out. So that's as long as I'm not being stagnant, and I keep moving and keep making things, that's when I feel that I'm not in a rut.
Well, I'm glad you made that decision then to leave that supermarket.
Yeah, it was
sure.
a hard decision when you don't have any other like options, but like sometimes like you have to. I use that time to like invest where I had no job and I was just coasting off money, was just to build up my portfolio and demo reel. And that's kind of like, you have to take those risks sometime. Like risk takers are usually often, if like everything like lines up and you do things for the right reasons usually, and you're putting in the work, usually you have a better chance of like whatever risk you take succeeding.
What then has been one of your biggest accomplishments since you decided to pursue, your art, your stand-up and everything? I'm assuming it's this New York thing, one of them, right?
The New York thing is by far the biggest thing for me personally for stand-up, although I have done other stuff for writing that was kind of cool. But like this was for animation, it was I did a Netflix documentary with my friend, like for we worked on the Netflix documentary Ghost Heads for the Ghostbusters series.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, we did like a small thing for that, and was like we did like what do you call those things, like dramatizations of like certain scenes, and like, we used like cartoons and that. So that was cool to have like my animation is like featured on Netflix.
Wait, hold up. You're telling me that's on Netflix? I have Netflix right here. What is it called?
Ghost Heads.
Okay, you guys are gonna hear my typing. Give me 1 second. No, wait, Ghostbusters, Ghost House.
I mean, it's an hour and 9 minutes in, as you can see, like my name in the credits with my friend.
Let me see. Oh, Chris Gassler?
Yeah.
No, animation by. Yo, hold on. That is so cool. Wait, so this aired in 2016, so... Oh, wait, I think I'm seeing some animation. Okay, I'm getting really sidetracked here, but I'm just so amazed right now. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm definitely gonna watch this now, just so I know that because I know your animation's in this.
Yeah, I think I did.
I found it.
We both did like 4 or 5 or 6 scenes. It was like either like one of us did 5, the other did like 6.
Yep, I found it. That is so your art, I can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. It's 17 minutes and 20 seconds in is where I see 1, and then it'll continue shortly again after. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it might be towards the beginning-ish, like the first 20 minutes, because that's I think when they're doing all like the dramatizations, like and giving the people's backstory who work with the people.
Okay, well everyone, if I can find a way to do this, I'll do this for you guys and I'll have it on screen. But if not, just know Ghost Heads. Actually, I'll put this in the description. Ghost Heads. 17 minutes, 20 seconds in. From there on, you'll see the animations from Ghost Tales, my bad. From SpinalPalm, and you'll know it because you can easily see that that's his art. But wow, congrats! How did you even get that then?
That was through my friend who's also in the credits. He had just put out. What did he put out? I don't think it was a prank time yet. He made that afterwards, I think, which is a great cartoon. But he basically came to me and was like, "Hey, you want to work on this with me? Like, I got the offer to do this." And I was like, "Oh, that would be like an honor. Like, that was really cool." Which is just that's why it's cool to have like all these friends that like help each other out and everything. Like that's why, like I've always wanted to make things for myself, but then like I also have like this thing where it's just like I want to have any success that I have, I want to like help propel my friends further and like really help them out too. So just kind of like if one of us makes it, like we all make it, sort of thing.
Wow, I'm honestly a little I'm amazed right now that you have something on Netflix, because not everyone can say that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it is. That's an achievement. Okay. Okay, hold up, because my brain has gone everywhere since you told me this. 1 second. Would this be then the other big accomplishment you have? Yes, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
I have like other stuff I want to work towards, but for now that's probably the biggest thing my name is on.
All right. So one thing that I just remembered that I didn't ask, I'm gonna ask now. How did you even come up with your character? Like, why did you choose it the way it is?
Oh, okay. So the character, if you go on my Newgrounds, my SpinalPalm account on Newgrounds, there was back in high school, the first thing I ever did of SpinalPalm, when I came up with the name, like a few months later, I was in like art class and I was just like drawing. I thought it was a cool like image for like an album cover, like a metal album cover. It was like a hand with the one I have on my character now is like the human hand with the spiked like the spiked bracelet and like a human spine attached to it, and that was the character. And then later on, after I got the job with Dolan, he was like, "You want to be like featured in like these like the episodes?" And I was like, "Oh, that'd be awesome." But like, he's like, "We like, I don't know if we can really do that with like just a hand." And I was like, I can
right.
like try and like redesign it. And I was actually told like a week ago, like someone was surprised when they found out that I didn't look anything like my character, because a lot of people I think base their OCs off themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think mine is kind of what I want to be, which is I always wanted to be like a skater. So it's kind of like a skateboarding, like sort of like looking guy.
That's the vibe I got from your character. Yep.
Yeah, like a ska, like sort of like skateboard character. And I just kept I kept it like a zombie sort of thing because it was just like it fit with the arm. And I kind of wanted to keep that same, because it was a zombie hand back in the thing, but you can see like one of the original like concept stuff on my Newgrounds.
So then, how about the red eye?
Well, that's part of like just like the design. It was just like a spur of the moment. Like that was my first draft of the characters actually on Newgrounds as well.
Okay.
And it has like a little bit of the proportions are a little bit different, but it was essentially just like first attempt. Like I just really liked it, and I was like, all right, I'm good with this.
Yeah, no, it's sweet. I like your character. You know what? Hold on, because now that I'm noticing, is the Twitter on your Twitter, is the Twitter head screenshot, is that from that animator or the Dragon Ball Z thing?
The one where it's like his mouth open?
Yeah.
No, that was just the picture I drew. The banner was my friend, but the profile picture's me that I drew.
Oh yeah, I meant the banner.
Oh, the banner's a crazy picture. I can send you the file if you want to put it up on screen because there's more to it. Like,
yeah, that's
but
awesome.
I was on the way to MagFest, which is a really, really, really fun music and gaming festival that I like to go to. And like on the bus, like I got a notification that like someone tagged me in the picture. I was like, what? And I looked at it, and it's like the coolest like picture ever. Like the full thing is so awesome, and I just I love that picture so much.
It's a sick pic.
Yeah, I don't think I could remove that as my banner for a long time. I love that picture. I have any fan art that people have sent me. Like I have in a big folder, and that one's like at the top because I love that one so much.
I think it's a good idea too, just so like people don't ever feel like it's not appreciated. You know?
I mean, I'm honored when anybody like takes the time to like draw my character. I think it's so cool.
Oh, me too. Actually, you know, funny enough, I've always been intrigued in like when one of the animators at Planet Dolan draws me. I don't know. Have you ever drawn me? I want to say you have.
In a few of the true stories, I think. Yeah, at least 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I like to keep them all just to look back on them, but I'm always like, wait, who did I forget? But okay. All right. So we're roughly what? I think we're about 30 something minutes in, almost at the 40-minute mark. Okay, so it's gonna now it's getting to the point where I'm gonna start closing everything up. But I like to ask at this point, how has it been so far? Have you enjoyed it?
This has been a good interview. Like interview podcast sort of ish.
Yeah, this is nice too because it also helps me talk to you guys because you know, for those that are listening, like I feel like I'm not the only one that doesn't know everyone at Planet Dolan. Just because we work together doesn't necessarily mean we all know each other. So
yeah,
it's
there's
a nice
a lot
way to
of
do
people.
it. Oh yeah, there is. So let's start wrapping things up. So I'm gonna start asking the final questions. So one of the last questions I like to ask is from the point when you started as to now, has there ever been one thing, like just something that has always bothered you / something you just regret that you didn't do sooner, that you probably messed up on and you regret it? Like what has been one of the big things you regret, if you regret anything?
Regret? I really don't regret any of the things I've done, other than maybe just not starting stand-up when I wanted to, because I wanted to start it. I've always known I wanted to be a stand-up comedian ever since I was... When I was in middle school, I think is when I finalized my decision of what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, I wanted to be an animator, I wanted to be a comedian, and potentially, like if I was good enough, be like a touring like professional comedian. I wanted to write movie scripts, and I wanted to direct movies, and like eventually do some other stuff with that. But
so it's kind of then just not starting stand-up sooner.
Yeah, it takes a lot of nerve to go up on stage, and I know a few of my friends that really want to do it. I have 3 or 4 people I've been talking to the past few months that have really like come out to me and just been like, I really want to start this, but like how do I do it? And like I think the best way, if you want to write comedy, I covered this a little bit on Derek's podcast, The Writer's Block, is it's good for stand-up comedy is to my mistake was trying to write out like a full script and trying to memorize it. You really want to write bulletin points and just kind of like know the beats of the joke, find out what makes the joke work. Because if you know like the small little tiny bits, it's something I figured out over time by doing it, is you just need to know these small like little bits, like the premise, explain the joke, set it up, blah, 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 like the punchline at the end. As long as you hit like the 3 or 4 like beats of like all the important stuff, you can kind of like sprinkle it on and like do different things with it. But like there's all like these things that it's taken me like a bit of time to learn. So I just wish I had that earlier. So that's my only real regret, is just not starting any of my stuff earlier.
I feel like that's what a lot of people in general, I feel like that's like one of the biggest mistakes is like we always have these ideas or something that we want to make, but whether that be through I don't want to say backlash, but like the fear of someone disapproving or someone saying it won't work or something, I feel that's what always holds people back. And sometimes, if anything, it's ourselves.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just myself holding me back. Because even now, like I'll go on stage and you have to bomb to get better. That's with anything though, is you have to experience failure to get better. You build from it. So you don't always want like success after success. You want to, like, if you fall on your face, you're going to get back up, and if you keep going at it, you're going to try and get better. You're going to get better. You're going to learn from your mistakes. So you gotta just gotta. That's why I really regret not starting earlier with anything that I've done, is because if I just started at a really young age with everything, then I would have just gotten better and better, because I would have failed a lot more if I started when I was younger. So it's never like too like early to start doing something. And that's just something you have to remember, is like failure is a major part of like any process, especially in like doing something creative. And I have failed a lot, and I have a lot more failings to do.
So everyone, again, take this advice from, of course, SpinalPalm, who you guys are hearing just everything he's done, through some of the hardships that he's already had in his life. The biggest one being the car accident. But again, that car accident led basically to his identity now, which again I think is inspirational. So if anything, just if you have that idea for whatever it is that you want, SpinalPalm advocates it. I advocate it. Everyone that I've interviewed advocates it. Like, just start. There's no harm in starting, because I don't know how else to say it, but it's just true. We're already at the bottom. You have nowhere to go but up. And you never know what time or what day something will just take off. Because Lord knows, I never expected Civil Spider to be what it is now, and I'm more than sure you probably didn't know that SpinalPalm would be what it is now either. So yeah, I hope you guys really take his advice on that. So then, actually, SpinalPalm, this is actually the official last question. Okay. And that actually goes down to that, is just, of your whole experience that you've had in your life and doing everything you're doing, what is, if it's not starting sooner, what would be your biggest advice to give to the audience?
Besides the stuff that I just talked about with like starting whenever you want, do whatever, like follow what you want to do and don't be afraid to fail, because you want to fail, like try your best, but you have to remember to stay realistic, stay logical, and stay humble. You want to, because I've seen a lot of people that I'm not like too attached to, like online, that I've seen like kind of like come and quit, and like they expected more than like they got because they weren't willing to put in the time or the work. And it's very important to stay humble, especially like no matter what I achieve or anything, I always try to just like, it's always crazy to me because I'm not expecting to like I said before, like I want to write like movie scripts, and I have like scripts that I've been writing, but like I don't expect to like get anything. I'll put in like as much work and time as I can, but like I don't think you should ever expect something, and you should always be grateful for anything that like you do get. I think it's very important to be humble, and that's something that you always want to see in someone. And I think online it's very easy to lose that, because with things like social media, or like you put something out on like YouTube, if it blows up or something and you get like 100,000 views and you get a bunch of people telling you that you're great, it's very easy for that all to go to your head, and then you think like the next few videos you're going to make are going to be great, or you just think that you can't put out like a bad video at that point or something. Like you have to always you have to have a humility to you, because then I think that helps like keep you in check. I think failing will keep you in check too, but that's something I see online a lot that I think people don't realize, is that like they kind of get like an ego about themselves. So I think it's really important to stay humble, and I don't think enough people are.
Yeah,
but,
no,
I guess
agree.
That's my advice.
Is so kind of in a way stay humble.
Yeah.
In a way. No, but
yeah,
I get everything
the best
you're
advice
saying.
I can give.
No, it's true, because
other than just work on whatever you want.
Yeah, because remember, guys, the universe it doesn't owe us anything. Like we shouldn't expect anything from anyone. We should just expect a lot from ourselves to get what it is we're trying to do. So that whether that be putting in the hard work to achieve this, giving up to go out to finish a project, or maybe giving up doing a project so you can do something else. Just really stick to what it is you're trying to do, but also, like SpinalPalm said, be realistic. So if you maybe you have to have a full-time job. I don't know your circumstances.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some circumstances I know that they work a full-time job because they know that that's realistically and logic. That's why I was talking about like thinking realistically and logically, because I have a bunch of pipe dreams and goals. Like I have like a Curious Cat like thing where they ask you like questions, and I listed like a whole bunch of like, hey, my goals are like to create like an indie game studio or like a TV studio. That's a huge pipe dream that probably like will almost definitely never happen, but it's just something you have. But you have to like realistically, like I think I can get like pretty like decent at comedy. I think I can maybe pitch like a few scripts, but I have to stay humble about it. I need to realistically like figure out how to do that. I need to learn more, of course. Like you have to know your boundaries, but also be willing to put in the time and work. I think something that's very humbling, and it kind of like puts things into perspective, that you might like when you work out, it's kind of like everybody wants when they start working out to like have like a nice like looking body and like have like nice muscles, but you quickly realize that it's a lot of time, a lot of effort. Like you have to nutrition, you have to know what you're doing, you have to put in the time to study what you're doing. You'll start knowing like muscle groups and stuff.
Exactly.
It's a lot of work, and I think working out is probably one of the biggest things that I started doing in high school that like kept me in check, I think, with everything.
Right. So again, guys, if you're gonna do something, I say strive to do it. Think of how you can fit it into your lifestyle, whether that be giving up 1 hour of sleep a night just so you can do an extra hour of something. Like, think of little nuggets. Try to find little nuggets of time to do what it is that you want. Because again, my life, your life, SpinalPalm's life, Dolan's life, none of us are the same. So you have to find what works for you. But overall then, I would say thank you, SpinalPalm, for coming on, telling us your story, telling us how you came to be, giving us an insight in your life, and not only that, like the career choices you're trying to do, your sacrifices, what you've been through already. But I think the biggest one is I just love your advice, and and I'm sure the audience does too. And again, thank you for coming on. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun. I especially like giving like the advice and stuff, because I like spreading positivity. That's like I've always tried to been like a really like positive person overall, because there's no point really in being negative. Like all my comedy is a lot of just like positive stuff, and like the things I like write are kind of like they have like that vibe to it. I don't know. I like being a positive person and encouraging people. It's always nice to like build people up instead of knock them down.
Well, for sure, because the way I see it, which is a quote that I love, is the only time you should look down on someone is when you're gonna pick them up. That's what I like. But okay, so overall, guys, thank you guys for listening. Again, I had my guest here, SpinalPalm, Super Planet Dolan Animator, comedian. Hopefully I get to hear some of it. Oh yeah, and if you have any of it that I can link down below, let me know, for sure.
Oh yeah, I might, because I want to record this stuff.
Oh, for sure, I'd love it. But okay, SpinalPalm, thank you again for coming on, and thank you all for listening. SpinalPalm, you have a great day, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, you too.
Alright, thank you guys again for listening. See you in the next one.
See ya.